Hey Helldivers, welcome back to the channel. If you're wondering whether the new Borderline Justice Warbond is worth your hard-earned credits, you come to the right place. Today, we're breaking down everything you need to know about this brand new Warbond and whether it's something you should pick up or skip. If you enjoyed the Wild West theme kits that many games tend to share, then this right here might just be up your alley. The Borderline Justice Warbond is a fairly new take for what the devs normally do. Instead of the Warbond being based around futuristic military design, it's taken old war themes and clashing them into the more futuristic stuff that we are used to. Think of the Warbond like the Star Wars Mandalorian setup, from armor down to weapons being used, so its package straight away is going to be more grounded and focusing more on the everyday enemies you face. You will get 3 pages of items, which include 3 super credits, new armor plus passives, stratagem, emotes, capes, etc. So generally what you're already familiar with. Oddly enough, there isn't a new camo for us to use this time. So, I'll go over the most noticeable items in the bond to keep an eye on. For the new armor, you would get 1 medium and 1 heavy armor set from the pack. These 2 armor sets come with a new armor perk called Gunslinger, which gives increased sidearms reload speed by 40%, a sidearm draw / holster speed increased by 50%, and sidearm recoil reduced by 70%. This passive is amazing if you really use your secondary while on the battlefield a lot. It makes weapons like the Senator, Bushwhacker, Verdict, and the new Talon sidearm incredibly smooth and quick to use with an increased reload speed, holster draw speed, and significant recoil reduction as a bonus on top. While it might not be a top 10 for most people to use, I can see the armor being more favourable to those who will be consistently using the sidearm at every opportunity they get. Now if we pair this up with the Senator for example, our shots will feel more smoother compared to not having the armor passive on it. I also feel that the passive was designed for the new sidearm in game, as this sidearm, like most laser weapons, can fire infinitely as long as you don't overheat it. Of course, this will vary with setups and secondaries in mind, as not all weapons are equal, and not every mission you go in will see your secondary be highly warranted. This armor set costs 45 and 55 medals separately. The new Deadeye Rifle isn't a weapon you want to sleep on at all. This thing hits like a truck and is officially the highest damage Marksmen Rifle added to the game. It packs 300 damage with medium armor penetration and an 8 round capacity with 60 rounds total ammo supply without the siege ready armor passive active. With that on, you'll get up to 72. This weapon rewards accuracy and patience like no other, because if you miss your shots, it has an incredibly sluggish reload time and you will get caught with your pants down if enemies decide to rush you. This weapon is not for the faint-hearted and not designed for everyone to pick up and use freely like most other weapons do, but if you decide to use it, you will be rewarded because of how deadly it can be. Against the minor enemies, this weapon can one-shot body shot enemies fairly easily, while for the medium tier armoured units like the Overseers, it can take either 2 precision shots to kill them or outright 5 to 6 body shots to kill them. I do also want to note that the weapon can fire hipfire style if you like, with good accuracy, and you do want to make sure you are not using this weapon up close and personal too much unless you know what you're doing, since the weapon is sluggish and it does require accuracy from the user's end to be successful. I like the weapon a lot for all its faults, and tend to use it for pretty much against all enemies I tend to face against. So if you enjoy marksman based weapons, then you're going to love what this weapon provides. This here costs 35 medals. The Talon laser revolver is a slightly toned down version of the Senator in terms of penetration rounds, but is laser based, which allows the user to have infinite ammo as long as you don't overheat it. Comparably, the Senator and Talon both share the same damage type, but both have different penetration levels and how many magazines / rounds they hold, and also how much recoil they both have. However, the amazing thing about the new sidearm is that if you take about 1.5 seconds between each shot you make, you can basically shoot indefinitely, which on higher difficulties and against medium tier enemies can be a godsend when all your main ammo has run dry and you can't find any spare ammo in your vicinity. You will want to take your time because this thing is a certified head popper, and if you do shoot too much, the weapon will overheat with 3 heatsinks spare. I know many people prefer to use the Senator because of its higher penetration rounds, and it also feeling more western based than the following, but the Talon is a nice in between the weapon for those that don't want to have the Senator or generally don't have it, but want the next best thing. Also, the weapon has a better iron sight compared to the Senator, so with the near infinite ammo, better iron sight, and being a medium penetration weapon, the following is a must have for quite a lot of content. This costs 40 medals. The TED 63 Dynamite throwable is definitely one of the more unique throwables we have got in the game for a while. When equipped, if you hold down the reload button, you can choose to set a variable timer until detonation, 5, 15 and 60 seconds. This can be useful for a number of ways, where you can use the following to detonate multiple key objectives if you've been overrun or just don't have time to detonate them, or you can use the following to set off the idle 500 kgs that are left on the map for some custom traps, or you can just use it against the large groups of enemies and watch them go boom. However, due to its 700 damage and medium armor penetration, it isn't exactly OP, and I honestly cannot imagine this being picked over the heavy hitters like the thermite, stun, gas and impact grenades. It will however be more valuable for stealth playing and setting up traps due to you having up to a full minute to plan the sequence of explosions. It definitely fits the whole cowboy Wild West aesthetics of the Warbond, so I'm pretty happy it got included regardless. It's just that its usage is going to be very limited to some situations. If you want this will cost you 65 medals. The sample Extricator can give an RNG drop of samples from elite enemies with a max of 10 samples in one game. The thing is, this is either an amazing booster or a useless booster depending on if you've been maxed out on samples or not. For newer players though, this could be a solid pick for quickly getting your samples up faster and also allowing you to upgrade your ships faster as well. While for older players, this can be useful when a new ship upgrade is being released. I haven't really seen much use of it for me, since getting samples fast in game isn't that hard to do, but not everyone's like me of course. It has its use, but it's not something I would consider to be a booster personally, but rather it shouldn't be an armor passive with a cooldown built into it. That's just my personal opinion of course. This costs 65 medals. The Horror Pack is arguably the best stratagem to come our way since the last Warbond that was previously released. The new Horror Pack stratagem is simply sublime. It's like having a high ledge you can climb on anytime and anywhere to take pot shots at enemies from bird's eye view. Compared to the Jump Pack, the Hover Pack can allow you to evade danger fairly more better and easily, and with less ragdoll effect being kicked in if you, say, accidentally stub your toe on impact. You can take advantage of the Hover Pack in two ways. You can use it with ranged weapons like the snipers or marksman rifles, or you can use it with explosives and fire in mind to become your very own miniature localized orbital barrage. Now I tend to use this with a flamethrower and pretend I'm some sort of sci-fi dragon, and while that might seem very silly to you, it's arguably a fun experience for me and many others who like to change up the playstyle. I will warn you though, not to use this against the harvesters up close unless you know what you're doing, as they can use their short range attacks to one-shot you, something I learned the hard way. I can also see this not being effective against the bots, since their ranged weapons can easily reach us, and generally we are limited on air mobility. The hover time and recharge rate are incredibly forgiving, with a 480 second cooldown period before being used again, and can be further reduced down to 410 seconds if you have the moral, augmentation and handcast upgrades. So depending on what you need, the hover pack is great for a number of situations, and I would say it's probably the better one to have over Jump Pack by far. This will cost you a whopping 110 medals though. So to conclude everything we have gone over, I do recommend you get the Borderline Justice Warbond. I believe the Warbond offers some great and truly powerful weapons that can be used for quite a lot of content in game, but the stratagem is going to be even better when you want to reach areas outside of most enemies' range. The pack feels like it's designed for players who prefer a more grounded setup that focuses on a simple but powerful gear to use in your endeavour. Think of it like wanting a warbomb that makes you want to use everything in the kit all at once, and with success. This is that warbomb. And while it might not have a great booster, nor a great grenade type, or the standard camo prints, it still packs quite a worthwhile kit overall. I can see the Deadeye, Talon and Hover Pack being the most used items even when the newer warbonds are going to be released, as pretty much not a lot matches their viability. So if you enjoy the western theme gear, that is very grounded and very curated in terms of what is being given, then be sure to drop some super credits on the pretty fantastic set once more. So there we have it. I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you have any thoughts on the content shared, or genuinely like what was shown, then please leave a like, a comment, and subscribe for more future stuff. It was great seeing you again, Helldivers, and I hope to see you again soon.